Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Libra June 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first up is, well, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Gemini from the 1st until the 21st. So the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, for Libra, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, attention on higher education, long distance traveling, philosophy, religion, in-laws, grandchildren, and publishing. And this may be done with a lot of Gemini-like vivaciousness in a very animated manner, but yet not an overabundance of persistence. Can be done a little bit in a superficial way, so it's something to look at as far as this goes. And also remember that Gemini energy can be very loquacious, so you might be doing a lot more talking regarding these things and thinking about than actually acting upon it. So anyway, next thing up is, well, the sun, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Cancer from the 21st until the 30th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, attention on the career, livelihood, the reputation, public image, the dominant parent, which is often the father, notoriety, recognition, and authority figures. And being in Cancer, this could be done in a lot of nurturing manner, very sensitive manner, done with a lot of Cancer-like emotion. And given that we're taught the public image is included in this mix, that you might be more you might be more you might have a lot of concentration of energy on your public image, but you might be more sensitive to criticism and ridicule, which could impact that. And also this could be done, a number of these 10th house matters may be acted on with that need for a lot of Cancerian like safety and security, and perhaps especially the career, such as like having your nest egg, or your maybe, like I should say, like a retirement plan connected with your career that you're at. So anyway, the new moon in Gemini will be on June 13th, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be a time where Libra might embark on a new Gemini-like college course. It could be something with communications, such as data, satellite communications. Could be something with journalism or writing, broadcasting. It could be where you might make a new embark on a new Gemini relationship, maybe connection with a foreigner, perhaps someone from another country or someone you might know at a college or university. It could actually be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Gemini-like characteristics. It could be a time where you might begin, maybe start publishing something with expressed with a lot of Gemini-like eloquence and diction in a very articulate manner. And also it could be a time where you might show some diversification, a new period of diversification in some ninth house matters, such as maybe higher education or publishing, and maybe variety of actions, perhaps connected with in-laws and grandchildren, and maybe even long distance traveling. So anyway, next thing up is the full moon will be in Capricorn on June 28th, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra might become exasperated, tired, full, so to speak, perhaps of perhaps a tyrannical, ruthless, overambitious, cold, or callous family member, maybe one that's overly authoritative and bossy. It might be a time where Libra might become tired, exasperated, full, perhaps of some kind of restrictions connected with the home life. And really, also, it could be really maybe at this time too, looking at this, it could be a completion or culmination of a Capricorn-like related project that might have been tied in, which may have been collaborated on with a home, or someone you felt close to home with, or a family member. It could have been something business or government related, something connected with information technology. And also it could be a time where you might be expressing a lot of sad and serious and sad Capricorn like really emotional energy, perhaps connected with how you're feeling, maybe perhaps about the end of life period, or what you really feel about. I mean, even if you're a younger person, say what you actually you feel you're going to have at the end of life period. And it might be something where you're feeling really very strongly despondent or even melancholy in regards to that. So and really maybe a strong outpouring of very sad emotions regarding that. So and of course what I'm stating is where you feel you're going to maybe be at the end of your life period based on where you're at now, perhaps. And it might be, really feeling maybe very despondent regarding that. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Mercury will be in Gemini as far as June goes from the 1st until the 12th. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, you might be being more loquacious and very verbose in your communications, and really are connected with your grandchildren and in-laws, perhaps, and expressing perhaps manifold philosophies with those people as well. You may be at this time, remember that Mercury can also be about siblings. It's not just about communication. So this could be about very could be Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant siblings, or ones that simply embody Gemini-like characteristics that might factor in more to your philosophical outlook, maybe religion, your higher education, and maybe about maybe things that you're thinking about publishing. Perhaps you might be also talking about a wide divergence of subjects with foreigners at this time, and maybe many ideas, many thoughts connected with what you want to do as far as higher education goes. There might be a lot of restless thinking connected with this right now. Anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Cancer as far as June goes from the 12th until the 29th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a lot of emotional communication connected with the dominant parent, authority figures perhaps, and maybe even being more sensitive to ridicule and criticism from these people as well. And a lot of contemplative thinking perhaps regarding your public image, your career, your stature in life, and maybe thinking more in terms of being more compassionate and empathetic toward people connected with your career, and perhaps a strong ability to extemporize more on 10th house matters, whether it might be the dominant parent, maybe a connection you have with an authority figure, a supervisor, or maybe even people that are prominent in your career in general. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo as far as June goes from the 29th until the 30th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra, there could be where you might have a tendency maybe to dominate conversations with friends, acquaintances, people you might know in groups and organizations, or maybe those people might be talking over you, and maybe they're being conversation dominators, so to speak. And also this could be about speaking with a lot of self-assuredness and confidence regarding one's aspirations and goals and the future as well, and maybe perhaps even creative thinking more in groups right now and in organizations and perhaps with friends, and maybe even boasting about how you feel about in terms of accomplishing and reaching your goals. And remember that Mercury can also be, again, about siblings. So this could be a time where you might have Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant siblings, or simply siblings that embody Leo-like characteristics that might factor more into your future, figure more prominently in your future, your goals and your aspirations, and even maybe group involvement at this time more so than usual. So anyway, well, next thing up is, as far as June goes, Venus will be in Cancer from the 1st until the 13th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, for Libra might be getting This could be positive, perhaps for getting money from the home and family to help perhaps with the career and notoriety and recognition at this time. And also, this could be a time too where maybe you might meet, if you're unattached Libra, perhaps a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply a person that embodies Cancerian characteristics that could figure prominent in your career. It could even be maybe some, or maybe an authority figure perhaps, or somebody that maybe the dominant parent might have introduced you to. So, also, too, this could be a time for you where you might value safety and security more with your career than usual at this time, and really, and really about perhaps valuing, really maybe that are more of a reputation where you're valuing your introversion and your privacy more so than usual, and safety and security. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is, as far as June goes, Venus will be in Leo from the 30th until from the 13th until the 30th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra, well, Libra might be more extravagant in terms of their spending habits on their friends and even acquaintances at this time than usual. This could be more about valuing extroversion and gregariousness with friends, with groups, organizations you might be involved in. And really, this could be too, the way this could perhaps manifest is about maybe spending more money than usual on the future, on your things connected with your goals and aspirations. And you might meet, if you're unattached at this time, Libra, maybe this could be perhaps a time where you might meet a Leo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Leo characteristics in some kind of group, club, or organization, or maybe a person, maybe a friend or acquaintance might have introduced you to, or it could wind up being a friend that might evolve into something stronger. So anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius. So for Libra, the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde from like the 26th until the 30th. So this could be a time for Libra where Libra might experience more perhaps contentious, acrimonious situations with a child, a romantic partner. At this time, it could be maybe becoming angry at some kind of bizarre or idiosyncratic behavior from these people. There might be more spontaneous, unpredictable energy injected into things that are connected with gambling and speculation at this time. Also, too, could be a time where Libra shows a lot of selfless humanitarian energy, perhaps toward children, toward a love romantic relationship, and really, and maybe even people that they might figure prominently in their fun and their amusement and enjoyment at this time. So, but at the same time, remember that it's going to be retrograded at the end of the month, period. So, it could be a time where Libra might be going back maybe to doing something action-oriented, or just something that really required, of course, energy being expended and used. Something associated with something Aquarius-like that could be connected with computers, electronics, perhaps astrology, astronomy, aerospace, and it was something perhaps that was tied into one's fun and enjoyment. It might be a hobby for this person. So anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio. It will be retrograde, and the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, well, Libra might experience certain luck and fortune, perhaps through making maybe a major change or transformation, perhaps in terms of how they generate income. It could be some major change or transformation in one's self-esteem and self-worth at this time, and also some luck perhaps going beyond the superficial and subterfuge regarding maybe monetary matters, and maybe in connection with someone that you may know at the place that you generate income at. Now also too, Jupiter in Scorpio could be about luck and fortune, perhaps connected with maybe a secret unveiled or solving mysteries perhaps. So this could be a time where we're given that this is retrograde, you might be going back to looking for a lost possession or something of a monetary nature, and maybe you have better luck finding it right now. And the thing about this too is, remember that Jupiter can be paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And this could be a time where this could actually perhaps expand or enlarge, perhaps surreptitious, even nefarious behavior that's connected maybe with perhaps with your possessions or with your income perhaps. So it's just something to look at, and your resources perhaps as well. Anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn. It will be retrograde, and the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Libra might be experiencing some restrictions and limitations, perhaps connected with the home and family life, the emotional security. It could be a time too where Libra might be taking care of maybe a debilitated or sickly family member, or one he or she feels close to home with. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints perhaps. And also too, it's about a time for Libra where he or she might be establishing more serious foundations at this time. And also, given that this is going to be retrograde, this could be about a strong, perhaps a review of serious responsibilities to the home and family, people you may feel close at home with, maybe to foundations, even perhaps maybe your traditions as well at this time, and where you want to be at the latter part of your life. It could give a lot more structure and discipline, perhaps in your home and family life as well at this time. So, and structure and discipline might be more tied into foundations at this time. So, anyway, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra, well, this could be a time for Libra where he or she might be experiencing perhaps maybe some unpredictable activity, or maybe some financial fluctuations that are tied into a shared resources situation. And even at this time, remember that that Uranus can indicate friendships, and we're talking about Uranus and Taurus. This could be about sometimes Taurus Sun Moon Ascendant friendships, or ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics, could figure more prominently in moral, emotional support, and even more monetary support than usual. This could be also, the way this can manifest is about perhaps the formulation of new perhaps financial ideas that might lead to a major change or transformation in one's life, and also perhaps making that major change or transformation through something Uranus, like through like electronic computer means, such as using high-tech computerized electronic equipment to transform yourself, your physical body, such as working out vigorously. And also too, I mean, looking at this way this could manifest too, this could indicate some unusual activity that might be tied in to credit cards, and really it's just some in shared accounts. So it's just something to look at this particular time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra, this could be a time where Libra might experience maybe some kind of enigmatic or mysterious type illness at this time. It could be something, in some cases, tied into drugs or alcohol use, even accidental assimilation of some drugs, like such as radon. It could be through, like, for example, a chemical spill at work. There can also be, and especially if this is making, like, say, an adverse aspect to Mars, because Mars can be to your natal Mars, because Mars, of course, can be tied into accidents. This could be about the disappearance of a pet in some cases, people that are in your daily routine, your work employment life, and even people that figure prominent in your health life might appear somewhat nebulous and unclear at this time. At the same time, though, it could be a time for you where you might be incorporating something Neptune-like into your daily routine, or even as far as employment goes, such as photography, chemistry, special effects. It could be something connected with the metaphysical, which can include astrology, or even in some cases spirituality. It could be pharmaceutical work. So anyway, well, the next thing up is that Pluto will be in Capricorn. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to mention the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to do it anyway. So in some cases, this could be the actual literal death of a family member or someone you simply feel close to home with. It could also be, in some cases, that it could be like an obliteration or destruction of some kind of traditions at this time, and found in foundations as well. But remember that Pluto energy can be about rebirth and regeneration. So when something is torn down with Pluto, often something else could supplant it. And the thing about it is, this could also be a time where you might be going through power struggles with family members at this time. You might be digging very deep, going well beyond the superficial, into roots and into your traditions, ancestry at this time. You might see someone you feel close at home with, or a family member showing some obsessive compulsive tendencies or manipulative behavior at this time as well. And this is a time too where there's really, this could be about trying to get power for your latter part of your life, and doing the things that you need to have that ability to have things the way you want them at that particular point in time, and also power in terms of your home and your family life. And just as long as this doesn't result in some kind of ruthless tendencies or behavior at this time as well, and overly domineering behaviors. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Libra. So at this time for Libra, remember that the North Node, when you're talking about the North Node in transit, it could be about issues that one has to confront and address. So at this time, it could be about perhaps confronting a bombastic, arrogant, domineering, overbearing friend, acquaintance. It could be someone that you know in a group or some club or organization. This could be about also really maybe about having to be a little bit more extravagant regarding your future, spending that money. So maybe it's kind of like spending money maybe to make money in some cases. And also the way this could pan out could be about perhaps being directed toward some kind of Leo-like aspiration or goal, such as something connected with entertainment, creativity, the theater, something that is really, it could be something that really, that it's just basically, it could be doing some work, like I stated before, something in an entertainment capacity, and even something where it could be very attention getting, very attention seeking, which you're going to get maybe some kind of notoriety and recognition for, or doing some work with children. But anyway, excuse me a second. Again, I think that Uranus and Taurus is maybe starting to change my voice a little bit, but seriously, also, this could be about really showing maybe perhaps pride and dignity really in what your goals are going to be at this time, and what your aspirations may be as well at this time. So anyway, and also too, looking at this North Node in Leo, when you're talking about the 11th house, this could be about approaching that future with a lot of self-assuredness and confidence as well. So anyway, Well, the next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, uh, for Libra, this could be a time where this could be about an unveiling or revelation of a very formidable Capricorn adversary. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. This could be a time where maybe this could be a family member. It could be someone you felt close to home with, someone that was prominent in your home life. And it might be somebody that might be having a very negative or adverse effect on your emotional security. And also, too, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could also be a time where something kind of gets let out of the bag, so to speak, that you didn't want unveiled, but it comes out anyway. And it could be about a rather depressing or limiting or restricting home and family life at this time for you. And also, too, this could also be about the unveiling of somebody that might be showing some real kind of Capricorn like negative characteristics, a person that's showing a lot of tyrannical, overambitious, cold, callous qualities, and it might be someone that you felt close to home with. It could be a family member perhaps. And also too, looking at this, this is about I mean, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, it could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And this could be about maybe relinquishing perhaps authority in one's home life. It could be maybe losing that ability to premeditate and be able to plan strongly for that person's end of life, for the latter part of one's life, or maybe the fear of losing perhaps really being consistent to one's traditions as well. And maybe those are some things that could be putting you in a strong state of fear and trepidation at this time. But anyway, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries. So at this time, when we're talking about what's emphasized and highlighted for Libra, the seventh house, of course, is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Libra might be going through some emotional wounds and suffering, perhaps that might be tied into others in general, their relationships. It could be a significant other. It could be ones that might be rather acrimonious and contentious. And it could also be a time, too, where Libra might be going through some suffering due to lack of enterprise and initiative, perhaps in some cases, maybe even in attempting to get a divorce, or maybe not being able to show the courage to do so. And it could also be about maybe dealing with rather acerbic, open adversaries at this time, or maybe even acrimonious divorce situation as well. And also too, and this could, and a lot of times this could just simply be lacking that fortitude and courage to be able to separate yourself from someone in general. It could be even just a simple close relationship you might have, or a close friendship you have. But at this time, and also remember, we're talking about Chiron and Aries, it's also about perhaps feelings of unworthiness. And you might be going through a period now, Libra, where maybe you just don't feel like maybe you're worthy in some cases, maybe of having a significant other or a marriage partner, especially if you are unattached, and or maybe even a close friendship as well. And remember that the seventh house is also a grandmother too, because remember that the seventh house does represent the mother of the less dominant parents. So this is which is often that mother. So the seventh house represents a grandmother as well. So it could be maybe you're feeling, maybe that person might be making you feel unworthy at this time, or maybe you feel unworthy of having that connection with that person. But remember that Chiron is the wounded healer. So in cases where let's say that you're going through, what I'm saying is what you're going through as far as emotional suffering and wounds at this time, in connection with this Chiron and Aries and the seventh house, you may be able to help others deal with comparable situations in their life, and do so with a lot of areas like aggressiveness, assertiveness, enterprise, fortitude, and courage. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Libra June 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Scorpio June 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Till next time, people, stay well.